Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Maggie Wolfendale and Andy Serling. I feel like I'm skewed here.
You're always skewed.
I know, I am. I don't know what's happening to me.
Well, you're a little bit higher than I am.
I'm not high enough. Anyhow, on that note, anything we should talk about yesterday?
It just went dark in here.
Claude just left. He just
the
left
light of
us
our
in
life.
the dark. He is. He is.
know?
I agree.
I think we should talk about. I don't know. I think Rebel's romance winning was very special.
Yeah, he's good.
You know?
He was destroyed those horses.
I don't want to, but it is the obvious. This is a little bit of an aqueduct swan song, for racing here.
Oh, for racing, yeah.
And to have a horse like that, just perform as brilliantly as he did here at the Big A, I think is kind of special.
Yeah, he's a 7-year-old that's the top of his game.
Mm-hmm.
Sort
It's
of
amazing.
actually. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't see that very often, and I agree. Well, the other races were fairly logical. It's nice to see, I want to say Frosted.
Our disaster?
No, the
Patriot Spirit?
the Woodward winner.
Oh my God, locked.
Locked. Let's think of Frosted. I'm falling apart here.
Him
He
get
got it
back
done.
to-
He ran well. It's the best he's run in a while, but it wasn't that fast a race. I mean,
No.
I think it's hard, though, in those small fields for it to be good. And I was glad to see him win, but I just don't think he's the horse that we had kind of thought he could have been.
Yeah, he's had a puzzling campaign.
Yeah.
Or career, I should say.
Well, he had like a good run from somewhere in November until
Yeah.
the Santa Anita race,
Yeah.
and then at least he got the win. I don't think it's a win that's going to make him a contender in the
And
Breeders'
again,
Cup.
maybe it gives him his confidence back. And
Maybe
it's something to build off
He's going to
of.
have to run a lot better if he's going to be competitive.
Hopefully,
It's
you
a-
know what? Hopefully he dodges the Breeders' Cup and comes for the Cigar Mile again.
I wonder if
Defend
they'll
his
think of
title.
that. I wonder what they'll do with him. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But
He clearly likes it here at Aqueduct. Runs well.
Yeah, no. He's a really nice horse. He just, and I'm glad to see he got the win after he had kind of been so blah in his last couple of races.
Yep.
At least he showed a little something yesterday, and I mean, no excuse for the favorite in there. I thought Kendrick rode him exactly right. He just came up a little short.
Yep. Yep.
Didn't run his best race.
Do you ever feel like sometimes horses like that who are claimed and get very good, there's, as you like to say, the Cinderella effect?
Well, there's a window, right?
Yeah.
You do wonder how long they're going to hold their form, and
Right.
I think it's the hardest thing in JM. You know better than I
Yeah.
do. I mean, you worked around a horse your whole life, and
Yep.
horses have sort of upswings and
Yeah.
downswings, and I think what differentiates the best horses is
The longevity.
yeah, and the ability to hold their form over time. I
Right.
always thought the Cigar, Cigar was a funny horse because Cigar came after a number of fast horses and right before the Skip-Away crew. So, Cigar by a lot of people, and it's funny looking back on it, they said, oh, he's not as good as he wasn't as fast as Holy Bull was and different things. I always thought even then, and he was running figures that, are faster than numbers horses are running these days. It shows how fast horses were back then. His amazing ability was to run an incredibly high level for an extended period of time, and obviously a tribute to Bill and the job his team does. But forgetting that, the Cigar just race after race after, he always ran an A effort, even when he lost at the end.
I mean, I know there's obviously several horses before him, a horse like Kelso, but as far as the time that I've been alive, hands down my favorite.
He was amazing. Bill shipped him all over the country.
Yep.
I thought his Oakland Handicap was one of his best races he ever ran. And, when he lost to Skip-Away, well, Skip-Away was a great talent. It didn't really diminish his quality, and he was maybe tailing off a little towards the end, but even in the Breeders' Cup, I mean, he was 4 wide around the track on a gold rail day and lost by about this much.
Exactly.
The reality was he ran a tremendous
This
race
race.
that day. He just lost. And I think that was, that's what differentiated him. And obviously, he's a sort of legendary horse, but he never ran a bad race, ever, on the dirt.
You know what people often forget about Cigar? Maryland bred.
Yeah, that's right. He was a Maryland bred. That's right. He also made his swan song at Madison Square Garden, didn't he? He
Yes,
appeared
it was so
over
cool
there.
during the National Horse Show.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was pretty cool. Anyway, we'll head over to Naira Bets and get started with the show today. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Got a number of things to talk about. Just lay them on me, Eddie. 5,000 hit split late pick 5. You want to opt in for that over at Naira Bets. We have a 10% exacta bonus at Santa Anita, their opening weekend there yesterday. Baffert won the Goodwood Nevada Gold. Is that his name? Nevada. It's a 3-year-old. It's like his fourth start. Privman ran third in there.
Oh,
yeah,
all
no,
right.
he's
back.
cool. Yeah, no, he had won an allowance, and he had broken his maiden. He'd run that dismal second at Pimlico,
Yeah.
but he's done well in California.
Good.
And I was happy for Jay.
Yeah,
I know.
love
I
Jay.
talked to Jay the other day for a few minutes,
Good.
actually. And what else do we have, Eddie? Is that it? The show, cross country? Yeah, I'm really interested in this. It's a cross country pick 5 involving races that took horses away from our races in New York. And last but not least, 1 to 130 in FS1, and then 130 to 530 in FS2. Don't shoot the messenger. Races 1 and 2, I think you may have noticed, were dramatically affected by scratches. And I don't know, Maggie, if Last Man Standing doesn't win the first race, I guess Nance will probably win, but I mean, he's going to be 1 or 2 to 5 in this race, and all he has to do is run any race he's ever run, and he's going to win.
Naturally, I preferred Linda's other horse in here,
Me too.
Noguchi, because he has more speed. It does concern me slightly that Last Man Standing has never gone a 1 turn, but at the end of the day, consistently his numbers are consistently better than what he meets in here. I toyed with putting Nance on top just because obviously there was a turf experiment, but this is his first race on the dirt running as a gelding, and you know, I just always am intrigued by that, what they can do. But
He's very clearly the second likeliest winner of this race.
Very
Beyond
clearly.
that, I don't have anything clever to say
Nope.
about race number 1 at all. Now, race number 2,
This was
race was just completely
wiped out.
shredded by scratches. And with the scratches, we'll show the replay of Echo and Eternity back on July 25th, finishing second, much to my chagrin. It doesn't, you know, I know that the 5 is probably the speed here. She's an Art of Queen, but isn't Ricardo just going to be sitting outside of her with a better horse?
Absolutely. That's, you know, after the scratches, I picked through here trying to find a horse that was a speed. And obviously, like you said, the 5 is the only one that's faster, but she is not of equality.
She didn't run that badly last
She
time,
didn't.
considering the pace,
Considering
actually.
it did come apart, obviously, when you see Whistler's style of finishing second, you know the pace has come apart a little bit.
And maybe Whistler's style will win, but there's no pace, and she just never wins. And
Right.
all she did was pick up a distant second last time in a race with a wicked pace that completely fell apart. She didn't do any running at all.
It does, you know, my interest is piqued by Linda went back in for her because
Linda's an action junkie. I respect that.
she's totally an action check.
She,
Like
and,
her
she and Steve are
totally
like
of the same
the
ilk.
greatest action
Yeah.
junkies in the game. And
Yeah.
I say that as a compliment, by the way.
100%.
We respect action junkies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't pick Whistler's style. I had her second, but with the scratches, I put Echo and Eternity on top.
She's
just
just more
because
tactical.
I did realize when I got home last night, and I wanted to finish up the work on this card, and after I looked at Friday and put up the picks, that I had left them on my desk.
Oh, shoot.
Well, yeah. Believe it or not, as neurotic as I am, I said, oh, yeah, I took them out and put them on my desk and never put them back in my bag.
Oh, no.
So that's why they were a little slow getting up. Race
that's like
number
that sinking
3,
feeling
I don't
to
know
me.
about you in race number 3. I don't have a handle on this race at all.
So I went through this race, right? And, you know, who could ask for Mo? Intrigued me a little bit. And
She
then,
was pathetic last time.
and then I kept looking through, and it feels like, well, I truly think she is a 9 furlong type. And she gets that here. And there's just several horses that I feel like want to be forward in here overall. And she's the one that I know can sit back and make the one run.
I just,
She gets to save
I
ground.
watched her last race, Maggie, and I did not think she lifted a hoof. And I just wonder if she can run it all anymore.
It was off a near year layoff.
I know, but she didn't do any running. And don't forget, that race kind of fell apart a little bit.
It did. I can understand you saying
I
that.
hear you. I'm not. Listen, we'll take a look at fully subscribed, and points is points.
See, the problem with fully subscribed for me is, why am I supposed to believe that she wants to go this far?
I kind of wonder that a little myself. She does get Lasix for the first time. There was some snafu with her not being able to run with Lasix last time. I forget exactly. I think it had been okay. It was sort of
Sometimes the timing.
No,
like
it
when
was
they don't get the slip.
it was something. Because Chad actually mentioned it to me. I noticed you on Lasix. I said, "But why didn't you on it last time?" And I remembered he had said something to me. I just forgot. It was Saratoga, and it's sort of a haze of events. I agree. I think she might be the best horse in the race, and I'm hoping she takes another step forward. But I don't have a problem with picking against her. I don't have a whole lot of confidence for her. Listen, I don't think Danzit's impossible. We'll look at Danzit's last race and show you the start. She didn't break that well. She went well. At least with her, you know the distance isn't going to be a problem,
Well,
Mag.
exactly.
I just don't know if she's that good.
That's my problem. I feel like she can handle the distance, but she just might be a little slow.
I just didn't think this was a very good field that she beat last time out. That was my problem, but she got a decent enough figure, and I thought she ran okay.
Did you watch it? Are we going to check out the
Yeah, we'll show the stretch. Yeah.
They just visually look like they're crawling to the wire, and she just gets up over Absolute Honor, who did, set the pace here. But if ultimately, they just ran 1-2 around the racetrack.
I know. I don't disagree with any of that. Couldn't she get clear in here? I have another question. I mean, I don't think she's going to be able to run points as points. Don't you think Manny's going to just send points as points?
That's the thing. Coquito, she's got to go. Fully subscribed. What are they doing with her? She may be able to rate and finish, okay, but
she's not going to be that far back, right?
Danzit, is going to be tactical enough,
about
and maybe
Scarlett's
she just
Halo?
grinds it out. Scarlett's Halo could be
a little forward. I don't think she's going to be that. I'm just saying she's not. I mean,
and then points is points. Her biggest problem, and while I like the 9 furlongs for her, is that in those 2 starts up at Saratoga, she's not the quickest away from the gate. She's not quick enough for 7/8, but then she gets rank. So what is Manny meant to do here?
And how good is she really? She's got that one big fig going on the
wet track,
and she's never
as well.
run. Yeah, and she's never run even close to that number. So I don't know. I'd say one thing about Coquito. I actually considered putting her on top for this reason. She looks like she's just ridiculously over her head. Linda claimed her for $12,500. What is she doing in here? Well, when Linda runs horses in races where they don't look like they're necessarily good enough to win, they often run better than you'd expect. And my feeling with her was, you put her on top, Linda will probably scratch her, and if she leaves her in, maybe you want her.
Right.
So I put her second because I do think it's sort of interesting she's in here.
I just thought from a dynamic standpoint, how is she meant to run well here? And I mean, she just meets a whole different class of horses, but
she can be forward too. She could be forward too. I don't discount the possibility Ricardo's aggressive with her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's so many horses that go here, so why not take Who Could Ask for More?
The only horse in this race that's a little hard to make on paper is Walk With Me.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's anybody else in here that doesn't feel like they could win. I hear you with your horse, and you might be right, but man, I wish she had done a little bit of running in her last race, and that was my problem. I watched that race a couple of times and thought, she just never ran, but who knows? By the way, Jose Lozcano's back next week.
Oh, good.
I'm not here Thursday, so I hadn't looked at that card, but he's entered. He's on Friday's card.
I'm not here at all.
I was thinking, you're gone all week?
I'm gone all week.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
Go anywhere fun?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm going to the Ark.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Have you gone before?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. Oh, good for you. That's
I know,
great.
I'm excited.
Nice.
So,
Have fun.
Thank you.
I went in 2005, I want to say.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
been since. Oh, that'll be fun.
Who won that year, dude?
Hurricane Run.
That's right. Okay.
Hurricane Run won. Yes. Quite an adventure in Paris with John and Alan. Alan was on his worst behavior, shockingly. Race number 4 as we kick off the Pick 6. There's no carryover in the Pick 6. We have more Pick 6 carryovers in the first 11 days of racing here than we did in the entire meet in Saratoga, I think. And I guess a lot of guessing gets done in this race. What did you do in here?
I went to the
Moto.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were second. I don't disagree
Horse
with you.
I've liked from the get-go, and there's plenty of turf pedigree. He's a Mendelssohn, which, they are okay on the dirt, but Half to Magical Marriage, who was 6 for 34 on the turf. There's one more turf winner from 4 to try it. Some others won on the synthetic. So for me, that's enough. He has some speed, and, I just went with horses that have some experience.
Yeah, you and I are on similar pages in this race. I picked Glorious Boy on top because he'd be a big price, and so I have to a couple of turf winners. Independence Hall is over 8 with his turf sprinters, but that's not a stat. That's just, I'm guessing this one probably has more turf pedigree, and I don't know. did enough running first time out, and
Good
maybe
field
improve the
last
turf.
time.
Yeah. So I just hoping this horse would be a little bit of a price and
No,
a bit
I
of
hear you.
a crapshooty race. I have the 7 in there for Witt, who's got a little bit of turf pedigree.
But they only paid the equivalent of $28,000 at the Goss sale, and
That's a little.
I thought
It's
it
not
was
a great
very,
family.
I thought it was very cleverly named. David Ogilvy, the father of advertising,
I don't
the
know
guy
this.
that Mad Men.
Oh,
the
is
Mad
that
Men-
who David Ogilvy? That's the guy,
yeah,
right? Oh, that's right.
'cause-
Dick
and then
used
the
to talk
sources
about
by
it with me.
advertise. Well, that's pretty
Oh,
clever.
that is good. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, wow! I did not see that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Right? They say that Don Draper's a little bit based on
Loosely
him,
based on
right?
him, yeah.
And it's the whole thing because is he the guy that came up with the Coke thing at the end when the last episode when
yes,
he's
I
on
think
the
so,
thing?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It feels like that's interesting, right? I think that Dick had him on his show actually when Mad Men was coming to
Oh,
an
that's
end. I
fascinating.
feel like he did. I also, is it possible maybe there was a racing connection as well? I did not know that. That's a good call, Maggie. I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't really have anything clever to say here, and I went to bid price. I'm going to leave the Weaver horse in the last page, but I mean, this horse has a little bit of turf pedigree, but not much.
Oh, Leah Frick.
Yeah, no, I know.
I know.
It's just Weaver.
Just not, and right, exactly. Leave them out at your own peril. And Flavian Pratt's aboard, so I just took a stance where I'm going to take horses with experience. Granted, in these turf sprints, a first-time starter is more that's capable can get up and win here. Dingy Bar, I know, was not flattered by Funny Factor and 21 Red coming back.
I
and
just
running
wondered if that was a
poorly in the
slow
state.
race. That was my
Sure,
concern with
but
that horse.
I thought he broke well enough, and then he just continued to lose ground. And when you're losing ground going 5.5 furlongs, it's very detrimental. And then he was able to rally on a little bit more again. So I thought maybe with a more fluent run that he could, and I didn't think he looked entirely fit in the paddock either.
No,
So
okay. No, he was like my 5th pick. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in the 4th. Race number 5. I thought race number 5
this one
was
gave me a headache.
well. My feeling in race 5, Maggie, was I don't want artistic success, competitive threat. I mean, we'll take a look at the last race.
Yeah.
Competitive threat. She should be renamed uncompetitive threat. Uncompetitive or non-competitive non-threat. Because I actually saw Seth yesterday, and I should tell him that we should consider renaming this horse because I don't think I've ever seen a horse for Chad Brown get more good trips and fail
just
to win
deliver.
than this
Yeah, she
horse.
fails to
I mean,
deliver.
she has the speed to put herself in position. She gets these great trips, and she just does not finish. Maybe she'll finish today, but this was pathetic.
I felt long and hard about leaving these horses out, and I totally get why you did.
I just don't want them. I'm sick of them.
I hear you. I hear you.
What's the blame the banker situation? Silvera's riding this horse, by the way.
Yeah, which I should have copped on to, with obviously the other horse being an early scratch and Dylan being on the AE, but whatever. This horse should be forward. Obviously,
The
I don't
stamp
think
of approval's got to go in
stamp
here,
of
as does artistic success has to go.
Is the speed, but at least she's going to be forward enough to give her a opportunity to get a good spot. And I just thought, her numbers are consistently getting faster, and you go back to her, her last route race at Monmouth, where we have seen horses that are saving ground perform best there.
Well, it
on
depends if the
turf.
rails are down or not.
That's true.
I don't know if the rails were down that day. I think it's
forgot
only
to
been
look.
days the rails were down.
Okay.
I didn't look those
But,
days up.
She was wide that day.
Steve
she
can
was
tell us.
43
Steve?
to 1. Steve,
June
chime in.
29th or June 1st, was she against the track at all?
More interested
sure
in
he'll
June
text me.
29. Okay. But I just thought, going to be a price in here, and I know the Big Fig last time came on a wet track off the trip, but she was steadily getting a bit faster in her turf races too.
In her sprints. Okay, listen, I'm not going to knock anybody in here because I picked two horses with far outside posts and a race where, it may be a problem having an outside post. I thought Turf Rocket, here's Steve weighing in. Let's see what Steve has to say about those days. He said it was a fair course on the 29th of June. Thank you. What about Turf Rocket?
I think she's been riding, well, I don't know.
Well, I say one thing about her last race. It wasn't a very good-looking field, but it's actually a pretty live race.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's like an anomaly because it doesn't feel like the horses were that good, but it feels like it was a live race. So
she's the one that confused me the most.
yeah,
here.
and I
just thought she had really good trips in both of those.
She did,
wins.
she did, but she may get one here because there's enough speed in front of her, and she's towards the inside, and
she was supposed to win in them too.
I don't disagree, and I don't love her, but I always respect Mike coming up here, especially horses he seems to send in the fall. He has a good idea, belongs, and there's so many horses in here I don't like.
Yeah.
That I think she has to be considered a contender in here. But as going to my picks, I mean, I don't like the post for War Siren, obviously, but she's been running against horses that are just in a different galaxy than these horses. And I understand she got to the rail last time, and she didn't do any running in that race, to be fair. She had a pretty good trip in there and didn't do any running. I'm just wondering if the class relief for her in this sort of field that's waiting for somebody that maybe she's just better. I mean, there was a time she looked pretty good. I don't know. Maybe she's just not any good, and Kirk is dropping her to a race she can win. But keep in mind, they only paid $50,000 for her, so it's not like this is some total dump job.
No, I totally understand that.
What about Mike Maker's horse, Broadway Lights? Because
So
she
you're
was
going long on
wide.
Mike.
Well, she was wide against a good rail 2 races back off the claim for Mike. And I know her first 2 races were bad, but don't you kind of want to give Mike another chance with her in this race?
And stretching her out. I mean, we saw it on yesterday's card, him doing that.
Yeah,
and
I
winning.
was surprised at that horse.
What
won.
about that winner of the last race?
He
How
was good,
fast
huh?
did that race
Got a
come up?
79 buyer, and he ran.
looked
I remember
faster, but-
watching it. I'd already gotten to dinner and watching it, and they were 21-3. I said, "Well, they're cooked up front." And the horse just kept running.
Kept running.
Those Yalpons have been pretty
Yeah,
good.
they have.
I put it this way, and I think you can see from our picks, this is a race to take somebody, take a little price on somebody,
Yeah.
because the horses that are taking money in here are decidedly mediocre. That's all I'll say.
Yes, that's why it gave me such a
And
headache.
they're just flawed horses. We'll see what happens in race 5. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the late pick 4.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Maggie and Andy. Race number 6. I got a stupid idea in race number 6. No surprise you and I don't agree in here. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh at this, but I meant to text you about this the other night. Does your husband have some? Is he like falling in love with combatants? Because haven't I seen him with a couple of combatants recently? Or is it just me?
That is Connor Foley.
Oh, okay. Because right. Tom has like 2 combatants, doesn't he?
He has 2.
I don't.
And so does Ray.
So does Ray? Okay.
That's,
No,
they were
oh,
Connor.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm not saying they're wrong. I don't know. I just happened to notice. I don't remember him. Was he Todd?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember him very well. Look him up. You got your formulator.
He was West Coast, wasn't he?
Maggie,
Thomas Morley, chime in whenever you feel.
I remember his name, and I've seen him showing up as a sire in one of the 10,000 stallions that Todd's created.
Yeah, he was
And
Sadler.
I noticed Tom had a couple, and I was going to joke with you.
No, he was Steve Asmussen first, and then Sadler.
Okay.
He won the Santa Anita handicap for Sadler, which was his biggest performance.
Well, he definitely didn't win it for Steve.
He could run on both. Honestly, he actually ran he won a No.
Oh, he's a scat daddy.
Right.
Listen, I mean, maybe an interesting sire. I'm not.
Sorry.
It was
My
just
eyes were
funny.
going. Yeah, no, I know.
So what's up with this horse, Combat Mission?
Hold on.
I'm going to tell you right
in one
now,
sec.
I have no clue in this race. I have an idea with a ridiculous horse in Charlie Hustle, which we'll get to, but.
know, because I thought there were a lot of horses, at least the ones who have experience, that are quite quick. And for me, he was the only horse making up ground in that race. John,
Okay.
I'm hoping you have a big day if you haven't noticed. And I know
You think he's watching?
inside post, probably not. No, definitely not, John. And I thought he was the only one to make up significant ground in that race, like I said. So
I thought he ran okay in there. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I thought he ran fine. I can win.
I mean,
I don't have. Well, I think we should talk about 4th and 1, because I'm not. You've got him 3rd. I've got him 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
He did have some trouble at the start. We'll show the start.
The other horse blew the
But
brake.
it's
He
the
was
other.
the favorite.
The
of
favorite
Maya's.
obviously should have won this race. This was a badly flawed Forest Field where, arguably, the 3rd best horse actually won the race, which is pretty unusual. This is the number 3 horse.
Oh,
the 4
God.
just sloughs into him, and the
And
2
then
was a
it
chain reaction, already
overreacts,
broken
exactly.
slow. And I don't think it was anything major. I thought he ran fine, but I just don't know how good that race was, except for the horse that ran 3rd, who should have won.
Yeah, no, completely. I respect him because, they obviously thought a bit of him to put him in, and maybe they just wanted the race to go for the horse who unfortunately had the terrible beginning in Toga
Right.
Twist. But again, it speaks to some confidence and definitely a race to build off of. Though I will say, when they're good Jeremiah horses, they often do deliver first time out.
I agree. I agree with that. I think that's very fair. He can win. By the way, the horse inside him, the Toy Cannon. So they wanted to name a horse Toy Cannon. They couldn't because Bill Mott had a Toy Cannon about 5 years ago.
Yes.
So they made the horse the Toy Cannon. Thought that was sort of funny. Listen, he's got fast works, and it's not like Chad Summers' horses haven't been running well. Certainly ran well in Saratoga.
I'm scared of this horse.
Yeah.
The only work you can watch on First TV is going back to July 20th, where he actually worked with Atfield. And
Who's back in, and that's a good race.
Yeah.
I think he's got a good shot. I don't think that outfielder has to win by
Right.
any stretch. I mean,
Right.
obviously the Prix is a pretty tough race, but that's
Yeah.
Friday's card. But I thought Atfield's a big player. I think that Weaver's horse is very dangerous in there, too.
And look, that was dirt, and Atfield obviously showed a propensity for the turf, to like the turf.
A big
He was kind
propensity.
of going better. He was going better than Atfield in that
Well, he
work.
should
and-
in a dirt race.
in a dirt race.
work, he
Dirt
should.
work,
I mean,
there have been some gaps in the workouts, which,
what do you do with the homebred, the 3 horse? You've got 2nd, I've got 4th for Safi Joseph, who's been very quiet in New York, hasn't he? Mostly.
he did win a stake yesterday.
I know, but he's just been quiet. I don't mean this as a criticism. His horses run fine, but sometimes we
Yeah.
expect Savvy, like last year in Saratoga, his horses were running off the screen. This year we did not see them. I don't think they underperformed particularly. I just thought he was sort of quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that in a
sometimes-
criticism. I meant just hasn't had as many.
Watching his work, granted, a long time ago, on August 4th, he was inside of 3-year-old multiple stakes place filly, Paradise City, who was a 3-year-old, and he was holding his own with her. So there's some pedigree as well. It's a little bit more turfy meant, which is obviously
A
concerning.
lot of
but
unraced horses. I mean, the dam was unraced. The
Unraced.
second dam
This
was
is our first
unraced.
foal to-
This is the second foal. The first one was unraced.
Right, which is concerning. The dam is half to Danae Court, who is a multiple stakes winner on the turf, as well as Jacali, who is a multiple stakes winner on synthetic, is an upstart. There's a lot of precocity, often with his progeny, and like you had mentioned with the Toy Cannon, there's fast workouts here.
You do know Charlie Hustle is, right?
I forget. Why do I forget?
Pete Rose.
Oh, right. Yes, sorry.
You knew the Mad Men thing.
Yeah.
I may be completely just being ridiculous with Charlie Hustle, and it may be just a homebred for Flying P that stinks. Having said that, I thought it was interesting that Ricardo stays on. This horse got completely shuffled out of the race last time, and it just seemed like Ricardo realized he was in a position where he had absolutely no chance in that race, and it just seemed to me like he was the kind of 2-year-old that I want to bet back in his second start. I may be off base. He may just completely suck, but he's a huge price, and I want to bet a few dollars on him.
Huge price. Was a huge price in the debut, which you don't often see for TT's horses. They usually take a little bit of money, which I didn't like. And
I agree.
mean, Ricardo, who else was he going to ride in here? And
Nah,
he's
well,
Jay's main man.
Yeah, I guess. No, I listen, I'm not, but I saw enough in there to think I want to give this horse another chance. I think he'll run better.
I mean, what do you do with power speed, though?
Well,
Like,
I've got him
what
third.
the heck?
But
with these horses
Well,
owned by this
the
entity.
Tagermeen horses, and there was a lot of defensive behavior by some people on Twitter when Nick Tamaro correctly pointed out that they spent a lot of money for horses that aren't delivering.
Oh, they won with one.
They won with two. And they won with the 1 second start.
Yeah.
And they won with one that cost around $1 million with a 45 buyer on synthetic. They've spent a lot of money for, 2 of them were that sire, that new sire.
Not Yalpon?
No, this is a Yaupon, but there's, no, 2 were from a first-time sire that stands for $3,500. They paid $700,000 for each of them. And
I'm
they
blanking on
stink.
who that is. It's okay.
David will text me and tell me who
Yeah.
it is. David says, by the way, the clock report raves about Bravaro, that he'll probably
Yeah.
be the favorite in here,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind.
Okay.
You're just drawing a blank. It's got like an L, a couple of L's and an I in there somewhere, like the 3rd and 5th letters or something. But there was a lot of
I feel like this is one of your
Nick had
Wordle games.
he had pointed out a fact, which is these are new owners. They've spent enormous amounts of money, a couple of them for a $3,500 stallion, and they have not been able to run at all. Well, they're also the ones that have that $1.4 million horse for Steve that ran
Not
twice
Galilean.
in Saratoga.
Galilean.
That's
Galilean.
Galilean. That's exactly
Yeah.
who it is.
Yeah.
But they had the $1.4 million for Steve that ran
right.
twice that
Named
stinks.
Tagermeen.
They're the ones that paid, right, Tagermeen, exactly. The name is, they paid the mysterious $1.7 million for Romeo. And I understand there was an underbidder. There are underbidders and there are underbidders.
She's that underbidder.
You're a little slow on that, Tommy. Tom Bellhouse checking in. Well, I will say one thing about buying them that David just pointed out. It's interesting. Galilean, they're eligible for the expensive Stallion Series races. The bad news is I don't think it'll matter for those horses. It was just a point. They're new owners
But you're
and
still overpaying
they're spending a
for
lot of
a
money and they
freshman
don't seem to be
sire
showing
that
up.
stands for $3,500.
It is what it is. I mean, when you state facts and people get defensive about it, what are you getting defensive about? I mean, it is a fact.
truth.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know because he was terrible. He was. I mean, it's not like that race completely fell apart. The speeds finished 5th and 2nd.
And there's confirmed other speed in here, and thinking what Bravaro
I hope
might
he runs
do.
better. I want to see
Yeah.
new owners putting money in the game do well. I think we all
100%,
do,
but
and I think that was sort of Nick's point. But
It just
they just I don't know.
leaves you to be cautious. I feel
Hard to be too confident on that horse. We'll move on as we will run out of time because we're having so much fun here. Race number 7. What are you doing here?
like we're on different
I got to tell you
stratospheres
something,
today.
Maggie. I mean,
Say the name of the horse you picked.
I'll do a Jason, the daughter of Curlin.
The daughter of Curlin.
Yeah, that was Jason's move.
I phonetically, I wonder if they misspelled it because there is a Linia, yeah, whatever, in Croatia, but it's the O and the R are flipped.
You got me. I didn't even ever look at the name, to be honest with you.
Jalinia.
So, I mean, I tell All About You. I think All About You is probably the horse to beat. You've got second,
Oh,
and I've
wait.
got third. These horses from
Oh,
the
yeah.
McKeek Barn are running well. The ones Jimmy has, but the ones in general are running well. And I mean, one horse came out of this race for Amos that ran 5th and won down at Parks at 2-5 and improved the buyer 8 points. Second-time star. I'm not sure that makes this a live race, but I thought this horse ran fine for a barn whose horses are all running.
And Tennessee Belle's okay. I mean, I know she was beaten 7 1/4 lengths, but she's still second to her.
She put a nice performance at Churchill, by the way. I think one of
Oh, I
their
missed
opening
that.
cards. Well, you could. I think it was the opening night card.
she
I think
still
if you get
running?
in a plane, you could catch her. Yeah,
Shoot.
she was last, I think.
Shoot. Well, at least the horse who beat her before Atomic Joe.
No, I think she's super logical. What's your fancy footwork thing? I know David likes this horse. I didn't
She
particularly
was
get her,
a 2-year-old report horse that I have consistently thought that the more ground, the better with her. You know,
Okay.
she is quite slow out of the gate. So a lot of times if you add more ground, that kind of mitigates that propensity to be a little slower. But she has made up ground. Look, the first race, that pace ultimately held together behind horses who had experience. She did come up the rail that day. The second place finisher in the last race came back, you know, didn't really improve her Buyer, but she still won with a 69. I just have been waiting for her to go longer, and she finally gets to do it today.
Listen, you like her, David likes her, respect both your opinions. She's obviously not impossible on paper. With the one horse, I'm always interested in smart trainers that have significant turf pedigree horses that show up in dirt races. And Miguel, now maybe he's trying on the turf and she can't handle it. Celestine, for the people who don't remember,
For Christoph.
Well, the funniest thing I always think about with Celestine was she made Tepin going to Ascot a free roll. Because if Tepin hadn't gone to Ascot, she would have run in the Just a Game, and she wouldn't have beaten Celestine. Because Celestine, who you and Richie both loved that day, she ran one of the best turf races we have seen a horse run in this country in 20 years. I mean, in all seriousness, I'm not joking. She won by like 7 lengths.
I agree.
And she didn't run again to the fall at Keeneland, couldn't run anymore. Wiggler Stud paid a lot of money for her. She came back and ran once or twice for Christophe, I think, didn't do any running at all. And I find it fascinating that she was entered MTO the other day, and now she's entered this dirt race. And I'm just wondering if it's a counterintuitive thing that Miguel wants to get the horse on turf. I don't nothing on dirt. I know nothing about this horse. I'm just sort of going on that. Maybe she just sucks.
Yeah, I just took a stance that it is relatively hard to break your maiden, especially as a 2-year-old first time out going a mile. That's just the stance I took. And I opted to take horses that have experience. Now, number 2, Connect the Stars. I've been waiting for her to get on the dirt. Now, have they tapped the... It's a dirt pedigree.
The problem is that she's exposed on turf, and she's going to be overbet based on turf races.
Okay.
I'd rather, on your opinion, and I'm not saying she can't win, I would rather she ran 8th in those races. You know what I mean?
Fair.
And she might be 12 to 1 in here.
I mean, I have written in my notes every time she runs, would love to see her on dirt, think she's a dirt horse. She just wants the distance. The dam, she was a multiple stakes winning New York bred. Going along on the dirt.
Mark's horses have done well, and we are going to have to move along. What about Concurrently? It's more of a dirt pedigree. I know he's an American Pharaoh, but it's really more of a dirt pedigree.
She's a big, strapping, good-looking filly. She was a little bit green, and maybe she just needed experience. I looked up Chad's stats, though. Second start, turf to dirt, scheduled with maidens, only 5 for 30.
Yeah, no, they're not great. They're not great numbers. I agree. I looked at them too.
Yeah.
I could use that. I mean, I thought Asking might run a little bit better, the 8 horse in this race. I don't know if she's any good.
So nervous first time out.
Yeah, she just seemed lost out there. What about the $800,000 Rapoli horse, Believable? Do we know anything about this horse?
Looks like she wants to go 2 turns. Looking at her, her
mile
workouts.
first time out is probably good.
That's what she's bred to do. She's a full to tenfold.
And 5 horses that couldn't run
at all. Yep.
It's a lot of money they paid for this Curlin, though.
Yep.
Well, it is a tap at Dam. We'll see. Interesting race.
It is an interesting race.
Yep. Race number 8, the Gio Ponte. I love Gio Ponte. Don't worry, we'll go through this one and then we'll discuss the last race in about 8 seconds. I think Candy Town's the horse to beat.
Okay. I thought you could make it outside of the 3. I think you can make a case for everyone.
Here's my problem with Candy Town. Todd's Barn was going just. Every horse they were running was running great, it seems like.
Sure.
Got an absolutely perfect trip, and Beer loved this horse. Today he did Talking Horse with me, and he was 100% right. It's such a last time was the time horse.
Exactly.
Having said that, he might just win back. But you missed the wedding with this horse last time.
Absolutely. He had such a ridiculous trip last 2 starts back behind Stars and Stride. So I get it. And he could work, you wonder what XY Prime does. He might be the speed in here. But you know that Candy Town has that tactical speed, which could make him dangerous in here. I thought the 1 was a little bit interesting.
Really?
I have a thing for Capitol Hill. The sheet numbers have his last race a lot faster.
Okay. What about Magic Pathway? We'll show his race quickly.
He's gotten a Magic Pathway in his last 2 races. Up the inside.
Oh, he's got.
No,
I agree. I think he is completely dressed up with nowhere to go in here. That's why I was showing the replay. I don't like this horse.
Nope, same.
I thought he's had everything his own way in these races, and we can go right to the replay at Capitol Hill afterwards. My problem with Capitol Hill, and he can win. I'm not in any way suggesting he can't. He didn't have a particularly good trip in that race at Kentucky Downs.
Well, who cares?
He had such a great trip in the Manila, which we're going to show here, where he saved ground the whole way and angled out in the very late stages where he rode that gold rail, and it felt like there was a surprising amount of hitting in this race. And man, he got such a delicious trip and ride in this race. And yeah, I'm pissed off because I needed the 2 to run second at $1,000,000 to 1 to make a score, and he sort of outlucked me at the end. But But he can win. He's okay. He's run against better horses. He's getting real class relief in here.
He's just one of those physicals for Bill Mott that I've, been wooed by. And
Okay.
So I'm going to stick with him.
He's a huge player in here. I'm going to take Salamis. I know the horse had a good trip last time out, but I have a feeling this horse is okay. I kind of liked his other races. I thought he's run against some good horses. He hasn't had the world's best trips in them. He had a good trip last time, but I'm not sure he's not okay. And I just feel like he might be a horse ready to step up and beat a lot of horses that I know it's a stake race, but doesn't it feel like a non-winner's a 1.5 or 2 kind of?
Absolutely. And 100%.
But he wouldn't be that short a price. That's all. I thought he'd be third choice behind the 5 and 6, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I feel like they're going to be all similar prices in here. I don't think there's a prohibitive favorite whatsoever.
No, I don't think anybody should be.
And finally, for him, he's getting to string turf races back to back. He's he's had a lot of stops and starts so far in his career.
I agree. So the last race, the question is, and we're going to show Deemer hanging like a chandelier last time. I will say I bet Mission Hill because he was a ridiculous 7-1 in here.
Yeah, I remember you love this horse.
I mean, I picked Deemer. No, I picked Deemer, but
I remember you.
No,
you made such a case for Mission Hill that it stuck in my memory that you.
I think we did the show this day, and I picked him second, and I thought he'd be 3-1, and he ended up being 7-1. And I think Ricardo wrote him and did a great job saying lead. I got to tell you something about Deemer.
We didn't.
He's starting to have a little. Oh, we didn't do it. You're right.
No, we did
it the last day.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if he's a little bit of a hanger, so I didn't want to put him on top. You saw the same thing.
Same thing.
What about Charlie's horse? I don't like the race Charlie's horse is coming out
I know.
That's why I don't like him.
That was my problem, but I did think that the Craftsman, he got to save all the ground in the world.
Oh, the Craftsman was crazy lucky to win. I agree.
Crazy lucky, and he was chasing Archer's Assault 3 wide the entire way, unable to save ground, and I thought he just ran on well. There's no argument that his turf races are by far his best. We'll see, and it feels like Charlie's Barn's starting to get back in a groove after a long,
I agree with that.
Before midway through Saratoga, it was rough.
Yeah. So as far as Let's Fight, this horse saved ground the whole way. Well, and I'm not in love with him. Don't get me wrong. I was searching for an alternative.
Yeah.
It was his first start coming off of nearly a 7-month layoff. So maybe in a race, and I'll say one thing, and he did not run well in the race. He did get absolutely slammed coming out of the gate. I mean, these bump brakes can go both ways. I thought he got legitimately slammed in there and had trouble.
And he's a very small horse where that could be a bit of a problem.
And he's second off a layoff and drew well towards the inside.
And
I don't love him. I just was looking for somebody else because Deemer may win, but he's starting to feel like a big-time hanger to me.
A little bit of pedigree with Solo Dancing. I mean, I know it's a Salamini, but he's half to General Ken, who won the award, is a stakes winner, and the full sibling won on the turf too.
I know. I just wish it wasn't a Salamini, but you're right. This is plenty of turf side pedigree.
Yep.
Or dam side pedigree. All right. It was fun. We're done. We thank you for watching. Head over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Then we have, I think we have a $5,000 hit and split, late pick 5 here at the Big A. Then we have a 10% exacta bonus at Santa Anita. Then we have a cross-country pick 5 that we wish you the best of luck in. And the show, 1 to 1:30 in FS1, and then 1:30 to 5:30 in FS2, covering all of today's action. It was a pleasure as always, Maggie. We appreciate you watching. Chris Griffin is up next with a reprise of the Scratches and Changes. Have a great day.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Belmont at the Big A. At this time, we ask you to please rise. Remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the New York Racing Association Live Racing Belmont at the Big A. A Sunday afternoon. Great racing action ahead. 9 races on today's card. Main track is fast and the turf is firm. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday. And here are today's scratches and changes for Belmont at the Big A. Race 1. Started the early pick 5. Scratch the 5. Remember the Chief. Scratch the 7. And Noguchi.